Hey everyone, welcome to Funnels and Follow Up, the show that is all about getting more prospects, turning those prospects into raving fans and then into new clients and then following up with them so that they keep buying from you, so that they keep using you, so that they keep going back to you. That's the trick, boys and girls. That's what we got to do. So our guest today, yes, I have the weird headset on because as everybody out there knows, I have no idea what's going on with the computers. I have no idea what's going on with anything. Bit by bit, we're figuring it out. Right. So our guest today is Carmen Ventrucci. She is the CEO of True Sisu Life, known as the International Business Igniter. Wow. Okay. I put this into a notepad document and it's just not wrapping. So she's the International Business Igniter. She knows that you have the power to design your life the way you want it. Not like the way your mother wanted it, or Sister Mary Catherine in 6th grade. No, but the way you want it. And as a business igniter, her mindset mastery and action-taking tactics help you achieve professional, personal, and financial success to live your passion. She thrives on developing and supporting you. Say yes to Carmen. Ignite your business, hone your clarity, and lead your results that you dare to dream. Carmen is also an author, a speaker, and a real estate investor because she seems to have a lot of free time on her hands, boys and girls. She's self-described as a badass mom. Oh yes, moms always have tons of free time on their hands to 6 kids. Right? She's studying Taekwondo and will test for her black belt sometime in 2020 if we ever begin to have something that even remotely resembles normal. Thank you so much, Carmen, for being on the show. And of course, I just, there we go.
It is my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. And, full disclosure, Carmen popped in at the last minute. There was a guest change, a whole guest change thing. And you know what? We all have to go with the flow. This is how life is. We go with the flow. We decide that it's going to work to our advantage, or we decide that we're going to get screwed by it. And I think we decided today that we're going to take this to our advantage.
I will work to your advantage. I guarantee it. This is a great example. Sometimes you deal with what emerges. And exactly. Today I emerged. So
that's right. So the first question is, what does Sisu, S-I-S-U, what does Sisu mean?
Great question. So it is actually a Finnish term. So my family is Finnish on my mom's side of the family. And so we always grew up hearing this word and we understood what it meant, even though there really is no direct translation into English. So really what it means, it's grit, determination, and tenacity, no matter the obstacle, no matter the odds. So you are displaying Sisu right now because you had a last minute guest change. Things got a little kerfuffled for a little bit. It was a lot of exchange of information real quick. And due to your grit, determination, and tenacity, we are here, we are live, and we're going to have a blast.
And we're going to have a blast. And we're going to teach our listening audience something about their business, something that will help propel them forward. And that's what this show is all about. And it just, I sound so weird to myself with the little earphones on. What is a CEO pyramid? Is it like a gathering at one of those 3-day events where all the CEOs get together and
No. So the CEO pyramid is something I came up with. And have you ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Like if you ever went through high school, at the bottom, it's like you need to eat, and then you need to feel safe. And then I think it's social, and then it's esteem, and then it's self-actualization. It's kind of the same concept, except for CEOs. And now a lot of you who are listening may not consider yourself a CEO, yet you are a CEO. You are the CEO of whatever you do. If you are a small business owner or any size business owner, an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, even if you're working for somebody else and you're running a sales department, you are a CEO of what you do.
Right.
And so this is a little different spin on it. And it's something I use to teach clients about mindset because I am a mindset and business coach. And what I found is that I can teach you all the business things. I can teach you how to market. I can teach you, finance. I can teach you networking. If your mindset is out of whack or not aligned with where you want to go, you won't get there.
Yep.
You can know all the things and it won't make a difference. And so guess what? Guess what's at the bottom of my CEO pyramid? Mindset.
Mindset.
It's the foundation of every business decision you're going to make.
So where in the pyramid of life, of living, it's, it's the basic needs. I need a roof over my head.
Yes.
I need to know where my next meal is coming from. I need to know that there's clean water to drink and clean air to breathe. And that's, that's the basis of everything else. You can't do anything else without knowing that. What you're saying is we can't do anything else unless our mindset is correct.
Exactly. You need the correct mindset and a mindset that's going to help you get to where you want to go. And the cool thing is, the awesome thing is, once you start working on your mindset, other things, other parts of the pyramid start to align and get better and get easier. So once you start working on your mindset, next comes clarity. Because when you have a better mindset, you can find alignment with you, your business, your clients or your customers, even this can be outside of business too, your relationships. And once you're in alignment, those business decisions and those life decisions get easier. And so we start with mindset, and then that leads to more clarity.
A couple of things that I read or we were talking about has to do with decision making. And we've all read Think and Grow Rich. And one of the absolutes in there is you absolutely must make decisions quickly.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that you can't think about it. That doesn't mean that you can't, look at everything that is presented to you. Absolutely, you look at everything that's presented to you, but you want to make a decision quickly. Why is that so important? Why is quick decision making as opposed to, I don't know, maybe, as opposed to doing the Gilbert Gottfried thing?
Yeah, Gilbert Gottfried. I like that.
I don't know.
Okay, so here's my barometer. I'll share with you, and some people may relate to this and find it to be true for them. When I make quick decisions, it's because I know it in my gut. So I know that it is aligned with me. When I am aligned and I know who my business, myself, and my clients, I can make those decisions like that. When I get wishy-washy, when I get Gilbert Gottfried, that is an indication for me, I need to go get a little more clear on this. So I need to go think about it and say, all right, does this meet my avatar? My ideal client, is this in accordance with my mission for my business or myself or whatever it is? So I use that as a barometer when I get wishy-washy that, oh, shoot, I'm out of alignment on something. I got to think about that real quick and get back and then go. So yes, if I find when I'm able to make those quick decisions like that, it's when I'm in alignment and I'm very clear on my purpose, goals, and outcomes.
So we want to keep getting into alignment. We're going to get out of alignment, of course.
Oh, of course.
It's, what do they say about all the Apollo missions? And probably the same holds true for any rocket mission, is that most of the time you're spent course correcting because you veer off course and you're course correcting. So is that to the detriment of a CEO to always be course correcting? Does that mean that there's something wrong, or is that just the nature of the beast? No,
that's the nature of the beast. You will have to course correct in everything. When I used to work in the corporate world, one of my VPs said this, and I wish I had a tape recorder to get him saying this. He's like, it's a plan. Of course it's wrong. It's going to be incorrect. We're going to have to change something. And I was just like, thank you. I'm so glad you said that because.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know everything. And if that's striving for perfectionism. Oh, perfectionism is just sometimes the killer of dreams and the killer of action because you're waiting for it to be perfect. Done is always better than perfect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, write this down. Write it down. Done is better than perfect every time. Okay. So Crystal says, I find I'm in alignment for a while and then I fall out and it's so hard to get back in. So what tips do you have for Crystal to get back into alignment?
Oh, great question. So, okay, this is going to be one of those that depends because everyone's different, which I hate those answers, yet it's still so true. Do what's good for you. Like you might need go for a walk, and like for me, I have my coffee. That doesn't mean I'm out of alignment today. It just means I like my afternoon coffee, and I like to just sit and reflect. I like to take my dog for a walk or go do something physical. Like I'm in Taekwondo. If I can go kick something for a while, that usually gets me back in alignment. Just getting that physical energy out. And so do what works for you. Now, if you're talking about business, let's talk about business in particular. If you have, let's say you're reviewing your ideal client. We all have ideal clients or avatars, whatever you like to call them in business. Go through the work you've done previously and see if it's still accurate. The reason you may be out of alignment may be that something has changed. Maybe your market has shifted.
Okay.
So absolutely go back and do the work again. Review your mission statement, review your vision, review your client avatar or your ideal client, review your core values, because maybe something has changed and that's okay. Like we just talked about, things change.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So things change and that review and that realizing that life changes, the world changes.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to change along with it. Okay. Shameless self-promotion, createmyavatar.com. Shameless self-promotion to help you create your avatar. The show is Funnels and Follow-Up, and we talk a lot about funnels. And unfortunately, we don't talk a lot about follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
You are all about the follow-up. I mean, about the decision and setting the groundwork. And then when you put this stuff into motion, now you've got to follow up with what you've done already.
Mm-hmm.
What is your follow-up process with your clients and your prospects?
Great question. So with my clients and prospects are different processes, obviously, because there are different points in the buying cycle. And so with my clients, I am big on accountability. And I have zero problems holding my clients accountable. So like I have 6 children. I'm very good at this. So if my clients say, all right, I'm going to do this and put these action steps in place tomorrow, there's a text from me tomorrow saying, hey, how did it go? And sometimes like I get a variety of answers. Sometimes I only got half of it done. And my goal is not to minimize what they did. My goal is to still celebrate the progress they made. And I will say, awesome, you got half of it done. Tell me about that. What results did you get? What prevented you from doing the second half? Sometimes it's a mindset issue. Sometimes maybe they had an emergency. Sometimes maybe they had to come be a guest on a podcast last minute because they had the opportunity and they just had to take it. So I asked that question just to understand what got in your way, because when we understand what gets in your way, let's tackle that roadblock and see what we can do to remove it for you. So with my clients, I am all about accountability and follow-up. When you meet with me as a one-on-one client, you will hear from me within 24 hours to see how it's going. And it's not because I want to sit here and be like, you need to do your stuff. It's because I care about you.
Right.
And that's why, like I said, I have 6 children. That has been like one of the highest credibility markers for me. If I can keep 6 kids out of trouble for the majority of the time, I can keep my clients out of trouble for the majority of time. And so that's what my clients love. Now with prospects, it's about building that relationship. And so what's worked well for me is I have a private Facebook group. So people get to know the real me before they buy from me. They get to see my videos. They get to see my content. They get to message me on Facebook and ask me a question. And so sometimes, the one thing my clients I work with, what they don't realize is that how many touch points it can take before somebody will hand over the credit card.
It's a lot more than they think.
It is a lot more than they think. Like one client, she had one meeting with me and she signed up right away, yet she had been watching me for about 3 months. In my Facebook group.
Yeah.
Another client, I knew him from another group I was in. So I knew him for a year, and then he saw something I did on Facebook and he said, I need to work with you. And so when I have people who we're talking, we're seeing if they want to get on board, I reach out because I see things everywhere that remind me of my clients and my potential clients. So I will reach out and say, like one guy, for example, he has like a kid's sports app.
Okay.
And so, you can keep schedules and games and everything. And the app I was using for my kids' softball was sassing me one day and just like not letting me in. So I texted him. I'm like, I thought of you today. I bet your app wouldn't sass me. And he thought it was hilarious, And so it's just finding those things to reach out and say hello. And it's not necessarily reaching out and saying, how you doing? Just checking in. It's reaching out and saying, I thought of you today. And here's why.
Right.
And that goes a long way with building that relationship.
Absolutely. Think of things outside the box. Take note when somebody's talking to you. Think of things outside the box. It's not just hi, how are you? I want to touch base with you. It's not just, hey, I'm following up with you after the conversation. It's not, I want to sell you something.
No, don't do that. No.
Don't do that. Yeah, it's the app.
Yeah.
Right. It's the app, or it could be something as simple as, you mentioned coffee and me texting you later on, and with a cup of my coffee, because I'm going later on to meet a friend, with a cup of my coffee and going, I'm having coffee now too, my afternoon coffee.
Exactly. You could read an article and remind somebody and just send them the article.
Exactly.
Like, it's easy. You just want your prospects to know that you are keeping them in your orbit, right? This is like basic networking. Keep these people in your orbit, and they have to know that you are in their orbit.
Right.
Or they are in your orbit. Excuse me. That was backwards.
Right. They are in.
Yeah.
Here we are. It's the end of the day. They are in your orbit. And so with this, and I hear it, and I know you hear it. I don't want to follow up. I don't want to be a pest. I don't want to keep calling them. I don't want to. Which is, I'm afraid to follow up. I am afraid to make the call. I am afraid that I may be being a pest. How do you overcome that? You're all about the mindset.
So I work with clients on something I call the 7 flavors of fear. It's like an ice cream shop. You can get a double scoop or a triple scoop. And what you're talking about is the fear of rejection. I might hear the word no. Right? Or they might, it could be one of those several flavors of fear, but what I'm hearing in that is the fear of rejection. I might hear the word no. And what we forget is that no can lead to yes. No is part of getting to yes. And so if you hear the word no, take it more as not now instead of no altogether. And what I do with my clients is I use what I call the what if technique. And so when they're feeling fear, like the fear of rejection, or in this case, it could be the fear of imposter syndrome. So the fear of being a fraud. And we talked about perfectionism earlier. So you think like you don't deserve everything, or, you don't know enough to be good at what you are. So we use the what if technique, and we just reframe that fear. So the fear of rejection. What if hearing no means you have an awesome conversation with your client and you understand them at a deeper level?
Okay.
What if hearing no is the universe doing you a favor because that client was going to be that pain in your butt?
So much that happens. Yeah. You'd be surprised.
When I was in the corporate world, I applied for other jobs and I would hear no. And then I would find out more about what was really going on later. And I was just like, thank goodness I didn't end up there, because they would have fired me in a minute because I would have run my mouth off, And it's like sometimes hearing no is a blessing in disguise.
Yes. Yeah.
If you have imposter syndrome, what if being an expert doesn't mean you have to know everything? Right?
Right.
And what if done is better than perfect? And what if you take some action, be it messy, and you get it done? And so that's how I work with my clients when they're feeling fear, when we're working on mindset is, if they're experiencing any one of these 7 flavors or multiple flavors of fear, let's what if you out of that. And so just reframe it. Write your own what if statement. If you're afraid of something, what if it? Write your own what if statement.
And you know what? I think it could be crazy. I think it could be insane. But if it starts to get you, it's like any brainstorming that you do. Yeah. If it starts to get you thinking in the right direction, then it gets you thinking in the right direction. What if egg salad? Wait, what? Yeah. What if egg salad? well, wait, what if, and then it gets you the next one, and
Yeah.
it gets you the next one. It's something we do in speaking called a pattern interrupt,
Yes.
where we say something because we know, as good as we are and as amazing as the information is, we may be lulling our audience to sleep. So we do a pattern interrupt.
Right.
You do a pattern interrupt in your brain. What if egg salad?
Yep.
Okay,
Exactly.
what? And then you keep going.
How did I get there? No, yeah.
And you just keep going. So I love that. I love that way of overcoming fear. Carmen, communication is absolutely essential. I mean,
Yes.
we got to communicate. And if we don't communicate well, unnecessary poop hits unnecessary fans the world over.
Yes, it does. You are right.
It does. So give us some communication tips. Give us a few things to walk away with so that we can get our message out there in a way that's understood.
Wonderful. Okay. So number one, if you are communicating with somebody, you are responsible to make sure they understand it in the way you intended. And what that means is that you have to understand how that person is going to receive the communication in their mind.
Okay.
And you might need to make a different choice of words. You might need to draw them a picture. They might need to there's visual, kinesthetic, there's auditory learners. People process information differently. And so you are responsible to make sure that they understand the message with its intended meaning. So if you tell somebody, hey, meet me there at 3:00, and they don't show up at 3:00, they're going to be saying like, oh, I thought you met tomorrow. You weren't clear on your communication. That's your fault, not theirs. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And so we're responsible for both sides of the communication as good communicators, right? And remember, audio, visual, kinesthetic. People need to hear it or see it or feel it. And so if you can understand how the recipient of the message learns and processes most of their information, it makes it a lot easier for you to communicate with them in a way they understand.
Right. And if I could just stop over here for just a second, because I know a lot of us have heard, the audio, visual, kinesthetic. How do you know? How do you know? And listen to what they say. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Visual. Do you want some quick tips on that?
Sure.
So visual learners, they talk really, really fast. Like, I feel like I'm talking really slow with you right now. And I know it's a lot. You guys are perceiving it as a lot faster. Visual is one of my main modalities on how I learn. And so they like to be well-dressed and well-presented because they like to look good. And they will be asking for, can I see it?
Can I see it?
If you're going to buy a car, it's because it looks sexy.
Yep.
Got it? So auditory people, these are the people who are probably walking around talking to themselves because they actually physically need to hear the thoughts coming out of their mind in order to process it.
Yes.
If they're going to buy a car, it's because the motor sounds awesome and it has an awesome sound system. Right?
Right.
And then the kinesthetic people, there's a lot of talking with the hands. They wear very comfortable clothing. They like to be comfortable at all times. Their word choices are much more emotional. Like, this feels good to me instead of that sounds good or this looks good. This feels good to me. And when you're communicating with the kinesthetic people, it's kind of like music. So in music, you have notes and you have rests. The rests are just as important as the notes. You need to provide some space. And I'm trying to do this. Like I said, I talk fast. You need to provide some space in between the words so that they can feel the words. And these are the people, if they buy a car, it has to be comfortable and has the feel of the drive is important to them. And, I just lost my point. I had a really good one. It'll come to me. So those are some tips on how to distinguish between those three modalities.
Right. And if you're not entirely sure, you can gently kind of move between them. Or if somebody's saying, I see what you're saying, I feel like, and then you're like, yes, people can bounce back and forth, and so should you. And so should you. So
absolutely.
Some more communication tips.
Okay, so there's a couple words you should eliminate from your vocabulary. So the first word is the word not, N-O-T, because your mind ignores the word not, yet pays attention to everything around it. So if I tell you, don't think of a blue butterfly, what did you just do?
There's a blue butterfly in my brain right now.
Yeah, there's a blue butterfly in your brain. And so, I mean, and didn't, wouldn't, shouldn't, the contractions are included in this because we just ignore it. Our mind ignores it. So if you say, let's see, if I tell my kids, don't run, I just told them to run. Instead, I should tell them what I actually want them to do. Walk, always walk.
Okay.
Things like that. So, if you tell your colleague, don't forget about our meeting on Thursday, what did you just tell them to do?
Forget about the meeting on Tuesday.
Say, remember our meeting on Thursday. And it's amazing. It's difficult to completely eliminate. I'm still working on it. I've been doing it for like 2 years. It still slips. It's amazing the results though. So give that one a shot.
Okay.
And the other word I want you to eliminate is but. B-U-T.
Yes.
Yes.
That's huge.
This one. This is huge because it negates everything before it. So replace but with and. So you can say it's a beautiful day and it's raining instead of it's a beautiful day but it's raining. Or honey, I love you and you never unload the dishwasher. Instead of honey, I love you, but you never unload the dishwasher. The latter sounds like I love you, but not really because you didn't unload the dishwasher.
Yeah.
That's what people will perceive it as. And so replace the word but with and, because it's an and world.
We can have our cake and we can eat it too.
Yes, absolutely.
Just remember that we can have our cake and we can eat it too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can't eat the whole cake, but we can have our cake and we can eat it too. Mm-hmm. That's something that I work on a lot because I'll start to say but and I'll stop myself and I'll go not but and. Mm-hmm. And I will absolutely say that because while it may not have had the impact that if I would have automatically said and has, it definitely does not have that negative impact that but has. So when you slip up, because you will, just pause, take a step back, and repeat it the way you want people to hear it. Like you talked about earlier, is you are responsible for how the other person hears what's going on.
Right. And so in my house, especially my husband knows this too, we'll have a conversation. We'll say something, but forgive me. And we correct ourselves in the middle of the sentence. And that's just normal.
Yes. And it takes time to undo the things that we've learned how to do.
Absolutely.
And when we make the effort to do that, people notice that effort and they pay attention They do. So, Carmen, we were talking earlier about your book, and it's free. It's free. I know that's my favorite price of anything in the world.
Price. Free. Yeah. So I wrote a book. Actually, it was a collaboration book on authenticity. It's called Dare to Be Authentic. How authenticity helped me prosper. You can. It's all about my journey to find my authentic self and embracing it, because who I am authentically was very different than who I thought I would be. I mean, we're all given stuff growing up, we're influenced growing up, and I am somewhere completely different now than where I thought I would be growing up. And that's great, because it's who I really am. So if you want to grab a free copy, that'll be just automatically sent to your email. It's on my website. Go to www.truesisulife.com/book and you will find it.
Beautiful. So that's truesisulife.com/book. I've actually read somebody else, a couple of the entries in that book. It is a good book because it talks about the fact that you can find yourself, and you can find yourself as someone different than who you were told you are, who you, like you said, who you believed you were, what you thought. And in doing that, you're like, oh, wait a minute. I'm far more comfortable in my skin.
Yes.
I'm far more feeling good about myself and about the work that I'm doing. And now this feels right. This looks right. This sounds right. You know, however you perceive it. But it's, you know, and it's a great book. It's a great book because you read these stories of other people and you say to yourself, oh, hell, I could do this. I can be who I am.
Yes.
If they can do it, I can do it. And so thank you so much for sharing that book with us and sharing your communications in the follow-up. The follow-up is so ridiculously important. And it's the part not we all, but many of us go, I just can't. I can't pick up that phone. It weighs 2,000 pounds. So it's all mindset.
And that, yeah, it is all mindset. And that's perfect because and the CEO pyramid, so you have mindset, then you have clarity, then you have, I call business mechanics, right? So we know how to follow up. We know how to pick up the phone and call people. But something in that mindset is preventing you from doing it. And that's why I help people work on mindset first. And then, yeah, they may need more coaching on business mechanics. There might be something out there they want to know how to do that they don't know how to do.
Right.
But the mindset makes those mechanics easier and the execution of those mechanics easier.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is this hard or is this easy? This, how much does it weigh? Oh, 200 pounds sometimes. So that's absolutely mindset. Absolutely mindset. Any last minute thoughts, any last minute tips that you'd like to give our listening audience?
Yes, actually. So there, if I may, there are 2 more levels to that CEO pyramid I just want to touch on briefly. So we have mindset, clarity, the business mechanics. Then I like to use the word village. This is really your team or your network. Because as a CEO, you need other people to help you and you need to help other people, right? Yet that village or that network and that team is so much easier to build because when your mindset, clarity, and your mechanics are good, it just creates this environment that people want to be a part of.
Right.
And then once you do that, the top, it's limitless. You can be limitless as a CEO. You can have the business you want, run it the way you want, and go design your life. Live that lifestyle that you want for yourself.
We can do that these days. We can create whatever it is that we want. And having a team is so essential. It's so important. I know for myself right now, and you know, my audience knows the craziness that I've been going through for the last few months, and having that team and assembling that team for me now is the most vital thing. I'm coaching, and yet I have a team, and yet I'm assembling it. So it doesn't have to be 10 people working in my little tiny office here. It's my virtual assistants, and it's somebody who may come to the office once or twice a week. And it may be somebody that I work with, you know, telework with, or whatever it may be. The team, that village is so important, and give back is so important. Give back is good for your heart. It's good for your soul. Yeah. And it's how you move forward.
Absolutely. And, you know, you hit on a really good point. Building a team is a lot easier than it used to be because of all the options we have with outsourcing and automation and delegation. Like, you don't have to hire W-2 employees if you don't want to. You can.
Yeah.
If you're not there yet, that's fine. You can still build your team. And even in your personal life, like right now, I said to my husband, Drew, I'm like, hey, Drew, I have an opportunity to do this interview. Can you take care of the kids and like keep them away from my office door? Because you never know what's going to happen when they're home. I was like, yeah, I gotcha. Go.
Yeah.
He's part of my team. So it's not only in business, it's in every aspect of your life. You need that team and you need that village, and you need to support them as well.
Right. It goes both ways, ladies and gentlemen, it goes both ways. So with that, truececillife.com/book is where you want to be. truececillife.com is where you want to hang out with Carmen, find out more about her. What is your, you know what, let's do this. What is your Facebook page where people can hang out with you?
Awesome. So if you want to check out my private group, I recommend you go there because I have a lot of fun. If you can't tell, I like to laugh and have fun. It is Map to Limitless Life Design. So just put that in the search bar in Facebook. And otherwise, you can just find me at Carmen Ventrucci on Facebook. There's only one of me, as far as I know so far. So
there's only one of you.
There's only one of me so far.
So far. Okay,
So far.
map to limitless life design.
Perfect.
Jot that down. Go to the Facebook, the private Facebook group, because we coaches, we love to just give. And we're here and we're ready whenever you need the help. I'm going to strongly advise that you hang out with Carmen. Carmen, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you so much for your just popping up at the last minute, being here, being ready, saving my skin. I appreciate that so much. And for everybody, we are here on Facebook Live on the funnels on the funnel and follow-up page. We are on YouTube. It's Cohen Coaching on YouTube. And you can download us on all of your favorite podcast players. So you can listen to us on in the car, while you're working out, wherever. You don't see us though. It's not as much fun, but
we
you hear us. We look good. We look really, really good. We do. So with that, Carmen, thank you so much for being on the show. And until next time, everybody, have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.